Right.
If we walk in that forgiveness, you know. I had a buddy of mine one time. He's passed away now, but he told me one time. He said I was talking about 2 or 3 friends of mine had repented.
Yeah.
And he said there ain't no way. He said there ain't no way they're gonna make it. And I said, man, they told me that they had repented.
Right.
And asked God into, hey, I don't care. He said, I said, you know, they told me, well, I don't care. There's no way they're going to make it. Like I said, he said, your problem is you think everybody's all right. He said, that's your. I said, are you bragging on me or are you talking about it? I said,
which one before I answer
said,
you?
He said, but I loved him, but he used to tickle me death. He would just absolutely not. He would say,
yeah.
But I mean, you know, why are you telling me this? When we're growing up, what are the challenges? When you're thinking, there's always some little challenges. No, we've talked about your father passing away.
Yeah.
But when we think about challenges in our life growing up, what are some things that really pricked you?
Like anybody else, that sometimes life ain't fair.
Mm-hmm.
You see somebody else get something, you know,
Right.
with something else, and you felt like you deserved it,
Right.
and which can build up bitterness. And I'm going to tell you, I was talking about this the other day. As a young man, and I think all young men battle with anger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't necessarily know how to channel
Right.
everything about manhood,
Mm-hmm.
and so anger becomes a problem. You know, and
Yeah.
I was an angry young guy. I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was angry and could hide it, but I was angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that stemmed back from your father passing away young, or do you think it was just
Some of it was, well, I'm just going to be honest. I use that as the reason, but I think
Okay.
it's deeper than that.
Right.
I think it was more than just, I think that was the most acceptable answer for
Okay.
people to hear.
Right.
And go, bless his heart, he's angry because his dad. That takes the pressure off me.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's right, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
when down deep,
Yeah.
there's nothing, you know, if this is, and I don't want to get into what I preach or anything like that, but everything the devil, he's not a God, correct?
Right. Correct.
He's an angel, so he's not all knowing.
I've said that
So
1,000 times.
everything he knows about you, you taught him.
You tell him, absolutely.
Yeah, you taught him.
Yeah.
And once I taught him anger was a weakness of mine,
Right.
he knew what buttons to push. I mean, you know how, and you're like me, we like to pick with people,
Right.
and if you know what can get them
Right.
going, that's what we're going after.
The Lord said that's one of the only gifts I've got.
Yeah, because we know what reaction. We're
Right.
reaction people, so I want to see the reaction. And the devil's the same way. And
Yeah.
a lot of times we can say, and it probably had a part of it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the whole part. You know,
Yeah.
I would make it the whole part to try to justify. But a lot of times anger is just built up frustration of life not going the way you want it. And
You think it can be built a lot back off of excuses?
sure.
I mean, it's a tremendous excuse.
Right.
That we can begin to go into and say, you know, this is why I didn't make it. It's somebody else's fault. I think we build generations on that.
Yeah.
It's somebody else's fault.
Sure.
You know, everything from racial tensions to all kinds of things. It's somebody else's fault. They get me down. This one's kept me back.
Yeah.
And you know, it just, I mean, I see that. And that can be a challenge to a young person growing up.
It is. Because you don't, you sidestep it. You don't want to deal
Right.
with it because you don't like the way it makes you feel.
Absolutely.
But as long as you sidestep it, it follows you everywhere you go until you face your Goliath, you know,
Absolutely.
until you face what's really the problem. It'll always, I mean, you can go around it and have a bunch of good days to where you think it's gone.
Right.
But there it comes back, just slides
Okay.
right in.
See, I'm a firm believer in this too. I had a time in my life where I used to not be as nice as I am. I think I'm extremely nice right now. If you don't think I am, I'll meet you somewhere.
That's how nice he is.
But,
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, but I've learned to deal with that part of me that wasn't as, that was a little, it was, as you're sharing, a little bit rougher about things. And
Right.
and there's things that, then I had some things in ministry, as I was sharing, preaching from the pulpit, that happened in my life that brought some things back. You know, that brought back some mean things into me.
Right.
And I needed that so I could deal with it because I thought it was gone.
Right. Right.
But that squeezed me. Sister Donna Johnson preached a message one time about a sponge on the side of the sink. You don't know what, it looks so clean till you squeeze it.
That's right.
Until life squeezes me, and that can happen.
You can cut an orange in half. Take spray paint the outside yellow, and tell everybody it's a lemon.
Right.
But you won't know until you squeeze it, right?
That's exactly.
Yeah, and you're not getting lemonade
Right.
out of an orange.
No.
And just like if we're Christ-like, when we're squeezed, we hope Christ comes out. Not always, And it's because there's things that we just hadn't trusted God enough for.
Right.
And like you said, even Adam blamed God.
Yeah.
The woman you gave me.
Man, I've done that a lot myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that. That's a lot.
It's just easy to take it than to deal with it.
Yes, sir.
And when you're younger, to deal with it, you're taught not to, really.
Right.
You're taught to just be strong, be tough, But I'm going to tell you, life will put you in a place where it's your strength ain't there. You got to depend on His strength, and that takes humility, and
I
that's
agree
not
on that.
taught a lot. Is that?
It's not popular. Okay?
No, it's not.
I was in a church one time, and I listened to the test. I was ministering there for like a revival, and I listened to them give their testimonies before church, and I try not to. I was listening to them to testifying, and man, they talk about the devil done this, and I like to pray for me because the devil's doing this to me. He's done this to my kids. He's done this. He's made me fat. He's made me skinny. And so when I got done, I got ready to get in the pulpit, and I said, I got a vision I want to share with y'all. I said, everybody like that? I said, I believe it's about an 8-foot devil tied up in the corner over there with a chain. He'd like to leave here if y'all let him go. I said, because you begin to claim all your problems on him.